Up, guys? The Bench Buddies are back, and today it's only going to be me. I'm going to be doing my solo power rankings heading into the last week of the NFL season. In the previous video, you saw Ethan's, and now it's just me here, and we're going to get right into it. At 17th, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers, who right now are out of the playoffs, but a win this week and a little help, I believe, from the Colts. They can get in, but it's looking like a tough task. I mean, they already got to go into Baltimore, and you got to have the Jaguars beat the Colts. So not looking like the best scenario, but hey, crazier things have happened. At 16th, they are out of the playoffs as well, the New Orleans Saints. They can get in with a win, and I believe it is a 49ers loss. They play the Rams this week. This is a much more doable scenario, I think, if you're a Saints fan. And I think you got to put them right here just because, their defense has picked it up over the last half of the season. But quarterback questions, receivers, who knows? That's just the big concern here. But they still got an outside shot at making the playoffs. And at 15th, it's all going to come down to Raiders, Chargers, Sunday Night Football. Unless the Colts somehow do end up losing to the Jaguars. I don't see that happening. But, right now where the Raiders are at, somehow being able to, pull this one out, with all the problems they've had this whole year, it's pretty remarkable putting them here in the, playoff contention in the last week of the season. So give them credit. But, they don't really have too much. As long as they have Derek Carr, they should be good. And at 14th, we got the first team that has clinched a playoff spot in the Philadelphia Eagles. Got a tough game against the Cowboys this week. It is at home, and this game is strictly for seeding purposes. Jalen Hurts has been the guy that Philly really needed desperately ever since Wentz, got hurt a few years back and they won the Super Bowl. And it's only good things to grow, I believe, for Jalen Hurts with a young core around him, good new young coach as well. It's only looking up for all of Philadelphia. 13th, yes, I'm ranking the Colts this low. Other than Jonathan Taylor, Darius Leonard, DeForest Buckner, Xavier Rhodes, what does this Colts team have? Well, Carson Wentz, can win games throwing 50 yards depending on how good the running defense is for Jonathan Taylor. And in the playoffs, I don't think that's going to fly. You can't just solely depend on the run 100% of the time. That's why I got the Colts so low here. 12th, we got my sleeper team of the playoffs if they get in. We got the Los Angeles Chargers. Herbert, Eckler, Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Jared Cook. That's just a few guys on offense that can make some noise. And this defense, has been a little suspect at times, but we saw in that Chiefs-Chargers game a few weeks ago that, the Chargers can keep up with the best teams in the AFC. So that's why I think they have a really good chance of, making a run. It seems like a team does every year, at least to the conference championship. And, I'm really high on Herbert. I need him this week in fantasy to go off. I'm in the championship, but the Chargers, promising young coach, promising young talent, and they could be a franchise to be reckoned with in the next few years. 11th, we got the New England Patriots. And, the defense has been spectacular this year, as always. But, I'm not really a hater on Mac Jones, but, he hasn't really shown me much, unless you count these last 2 weeks where they've really opened the playbook. He was firing it down the field last week against Jacksonville. Yes, I know they were up, 40? They won by 40. But, those are things you're going to have to learn in the NFL sooner or later. And it's a good thing that they're doing it now, as they got the Dolphins, who, have a better defense, obviously, than Jaguars. But we'll see if they open the playbook this week. And at 10, we got the Arizona Cardinals, who I am still not high on this year. Beginning of the year, they were pretty good, sitting around the top 5 ranking all year. And then second half happened, and then they fell out of the top 10. Cliff Kingsbury is a great coach, but he's pretty suspect in the second half of seasons, not even just in the NFL. That's just his career stats, even dating back to college. And it will be interesting to see James Conner and DeAndre Hopkins, their 2 best players on offense, if they will be back in time for the first playoff game. They are projected to be, but, crazier things have happened. And it's all going to come down on Kyler Murray to see if they can really pull off a playoff victory or two. At 9, San Francisco 49ers. Biggest question mark heading in the playoffs is who's quarterbacking. If they get in the playoffs, they got to beat the Rams this week to solidify their spot. But if they don't get in, then I guess we won't have to worry about it. But I think if this team does get in, it could be a scary matchup. If Jimmy G plays, Kittle's healthy, running backs are starting to get healthy. They're all kind of there. Deebo Samuel's been on an absolute tear this year, and their defense has been pretty good this year. It's kind of expected with Kyle Shanahan, but kind of took a step back at the beginning of the year, kind of were a slow start, and the second half surge has really put them into a good spot. At 8th, I think we have the most suspect team in the playoffs that is clinched already, and the Buffalo Bills. Not sure what team you're going to get every week. You could get a team that scores 3 points and everyone sucks, or you could get a team that puts up 33 points and blows out your opponent. I think that's the biggest question mark is which team you're going to get, and I think that's only fair to put them 8th. And at 7th, we got the Tennessee Titans. I'm still not high on. I know they're getting Derrick Henry back, but once again, it's coming down to quarterback play. And Tannehill, yes, he has stepped up in a big way since Henry got out, but I'm just not that confident in him in the playoffs. So that's why I gotta put him down here at 7th. But this could change if Derrick Henry, has a monster game next week and we do our postseason power rankings. So a lot can happen in a week, but for right now, I got to put him at 7. At 6th, we got the Dallas Cowboys, and this is the team in the NFC to watch out for. You know, pretty much hating on him. Everybody's hating on him, and Micah Parsons, Rookie of the Year, potential Defensive Player of the Year, has been the guy they needed in that locker room. Not just for the chemistry wise, but a player to look up to and take the lead role on that defense. Which has been disastrous the last 10 years. It feels like, and if Dak can play half as good as he normally does, and the Cowboys can actually run the ball in the game, I don't see how the Cowboys don't make it past the first round. Coming in at 5, we got the Tampa Bay Bucks. Tom Brady. I mean, that's all you need to know. He's gonna at least win one playoff game. It's guaranteed, it feels like. And for a 3 seed, they could be a scary 3 seed, especially if the Packers lose in the second week or the 2 seed loses in the second week as well. It runs through Tampa. That's never a good sign when Tom Brady's at home. So, I expect him to win this week, 13-4. But their biggest question mark is receivers and even running back. Who's healthy going in the playoffs? And at 4, yes, you're reading that right, the Cincinnati Bengals. I was saying the Chargers were my sleeper team. Well, this is my biggest sleeper team of them all. We saw last week them beating the Chiefs. I mean, at home, great win. And the rest in Joe Burrow this week. Mixon has COVID. Hopefully he can get back and better before the playoffs. But I definitely can see this team making a run. Joey Burr and co. I mean, what don't you like about this offense this year? People were crazy hopping on Jamar Chase sucks. He's the worst player. Why did we draft him? Should have drafted Penny Sewell. And now you got no slander of Jamar Chase as he's putting up potentially offensive Rookie of the Year in the AFC. I mean, he better win it. I feel like no one else can. So big year for him. And this is a franchise that, the AFC North is kind of slowly trending downhill, and it looks like the Bengals could be the team that is going to benefit from that. At 3, we got the Los Angeles Rams. Biggest question mark is Matthew Stafford. We know he's been a great quarterback this year, but the interceptions is the big thing that's been limiting this offense. If he can limit those interceptions, this team could easily make it to the NFC Championship, but I think it's going to come down to interceptions. And if they can do that, then why can't they win it all? So we shall see, right? I mean, it only comes down to that kind of stuff. And at 2, we got the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, of course, the Chiefs, because they're good every year. At the beginning of the year, all the slander of, oh my gosh, what are the Chiefs doing? They stink. And yep, here they are, AFC 2 seed. a win this week, and the Titans lost their number 1 seed, of course. And Mahomes really hasn't had his best year, but as of late, they found other ways to win. And I think that's what makes this team so good, as they don't have to rely on Mahomes anymore. And the run game is finally there. Darrell Williams now with CEH without him for the playoffs. And I don't know. I'm just liking this defense. They've slowly starting to take form over these last few games, and it could be a scary matchup going into Arrowhead. And at 1, we got my Packers. No bias. I mean, they have been the best team in football. Escaped with a few close victories, some tough losses, but hey, that's the NFL. And I think they're going to play Rodgers, play Aaron Jones, play Lazard, Adams, all their guys. But the question mark will be how long. We know they already locked up the 1 seed. The Lions are pretty much playing for a draft pick. And I think, 13-4, 14-3, whatever it is, it's a great regular season yet again under LaFleur. And let's see if they can take it past the NFC Championship this year. And if they can, maybe Rodgers comes back or he departs and retires. So we shall see. But that is going to be it for our video today. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. Let me know how my rankings are. And tune in next week for sure. You got to come back and see where all of our teams rank for the playoffs. Until the next time, the Bench Buddies are out.
She never called back.